So I made a video about this some time ago, and I just want to make another video because I don't know what happened to that video. But with all the Ace Frehley ultimatum nonsense that he did at Eddie Trunk's show, came back a week later just to say that Paul called him 5 minutes after the first show to tell him to go F you, and he still didn't release any dirt. I want to applaud Peter Criss, the Catman, because so many times he has followed Ace's lead to his detriment. This was not Ace standing up for himself and for Peter. In fact, he even said, I believe on the first Eddie Trunk or the second Eddie Trunk, that if they were talking about Peter, that somehow that wouldn't be such an issue. But because that they talked about him, it was. And during the reunion tours, Ace made more, and he's actually bragged about that. So I don't really believe Peter when he says Ace felt so bad when Peter was going to leave and said, here, let me give you the difference so you'll stay, Catman, I feel terrible. I don't think Ace has ever felt terrible. I think Ace is as greedy and self-centered as is Paul, as is Gene, and as is probably Peter. The thing I do want to say here is that I'm glad that Peter did not lend his name or his likeness to this circus that Ace Frehley perpetuated, which he seems to do every 2 or 3 years. And I don't want to be like that sourpuss skeptic because I've always identified with the spaceman, but I'm identifying less and less with him. But he seems to sort of time these like things alongside his solo releases. And I think that's pretty disgusting. And I think Eddie Trunk maybe picked up on it a little bit because I think Eddie Trunk knew for the first interview that he wasn't going to say anything. And he only started to think that he was towards like the 5th and 6th and 7th day. And that's only normal like that because it's anticipation. It's going to be on his show after all. Ace is going to come back. Maybe he'll get some hits. But if you listen to that first show, he didn't think Ace was going to say anything. And he didn't really say anything the first couple of days. But then when the whole rock world picked it up, then of course, he was excited as anybody would be. It's his show. But, Ace didn't say anything, and Ace is full of it. And a 120-page manuscript in a safe is like out of the 1950s. What do you need to print it for? Put it on a zip drive. Put it on a PDF. Why does it need to be in a safe? Put it like in a triple encrypted, like whatever, like off the grid, VPN back, firewall protected thing, printed on paper. I mean, it's so stupid. I mean, who believes that? You know what I mean? Who believes at 120 pages, what do you have like a dossier on Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley? You haven't been in the band in 20 years. And before that, you were only in the band for 5 years. And before that, you hadn't been in the band for 15 years. So what kind of information would you have? Like something like Gene Simmons stole a Snickers bar in 1977, or Paul Stanley took a pee in the bushes in 1981 during the Elder Tour that nobody went to. I mean, what information do you have? You don't have shit. The thing is you're trying to create some buzz so you can put out your solo record. That's my perception of you because you didn't release any dirt, even though Paul Stanley called you 5 minutes after your ultimatum and told you to go F yourself, basically, in figuratively speaking. So anyways, but I'm so proud of the Catman, Peter Criss. He's retired. He's enjoying friends and family. He is enjoying being a rock and roll Hall of Fame drummer. Maybe he'll go to a show here and there. I heard he went to one of the first Motley Crue shows with John 5. He's making appearances, taking photos with fans. He's living the life that he deserves. Ace Frehley, on the other hand, is mixing it up and he's creating all sorts of drama, and Peter has no part of that. So kudos to Peter Criss for that. That is what this video is about. Ace Frehley, the king of clickbait. Peter Criss, rock and roll Hall of Fame drummer, living it out, living large, living happy.